Hi, this is Kelsey Bleho, and we will be looking at Module 9 for our case study in EDL 855. So first off, we'll start off with the summary. The case established the facts. So what happened or what is happening? James handed or coerced David into holding his brass knuckles for him. David and James get charged with a felony and get sent to jail. Mr. Inman, the assistant principal, doesn't want to see David be bullied and sent to jail, so he is trying to figure out if he wants to report him or not. Mr. Inman is now on the verge of getting written up and or potentially fired, kind of depending on what the principal decides. What would happen if he chose not to report the other student? It's happening in Rocket Junior High with about 900 students. Who else is involved? So Richard Inman is the assistant principal. James, a muscular, heavily tattooed young man, 15. That's kind of how they describe him in there. And then David Ramos, a slightly built young scholar who participated in honors classes and was a standout trombonist in the band. So that's the other student involved. And then legal or ethical issues. Was anyone harmed by the action or decision of another? No one was physically harmed by the action or decision. But I just said 2 boys could be emotionally harmed by going to jail and being charged with a felony, which will definitely affect the rest of their lives. One person could have been harmed if the teacher had not seen that interaction between the 2 students, who basically reported them and saying that they saw something. So one student could have been injured because he said he was going to handle it personally with his brass knuckles. So does this action or situation contravene existing law? So yes, there's school policies around how things like this should be handled, what's okay and what's not okay to bring to school. And then it also talks about the specific actions that need to occur if something like this happened. And so yes, it does break school policy. Breach of contract, and then was there discriminatory or harassment? I would say that there was maybe some harassment in terms of James forcing David to carry the brass knuckles for him. So they were James to begin with, but then he kind of pushed them off and bullied David into carrying them, so they both were considered having them. I think there might have been a little bit of discrimination against James because he is known as the bigger bully in the situation, and he has kind of a history of stuff. Just based on phone calls with his parents, his mom didn't seem super surprised that he had done something else. And I think maybe the assistant principal might have some sympathy for him as he does for David. So there's kind of a little bit going on, but I would say for the most part they're staying out of it. So trying to synthesize all of that into one sentence. So James, an older boy with a history of getting in trouble, at middle school, forces David, a smart band kid, to carry his brass knuckles for him, which is against school policy. Both boys get in trouble with Mr. Inman debates on not reporting David the smart band kid because he has little to no involvement. And then number 4, just going over the facts. So people, so the assistant principal, Mr. Inman, the police officer who was in the room with both the boys when the incident was kind of being talked about. The 2 boys, so David and James. And then the principal above Mr. Inman, so Mr. Inman's only assistant principal. Also school board, parents, the teacher that reported what they saw happen between the 2 boys. And then this kind of takes place in a school called Rocket Junior High. 900 students attend, south side of town. Mr. Inman hangs out a lot with James, plays basketball a lot with them, so kind of getting to know them a little bit. And then, so program against a public junior high, so it's kind of all about that we know. So review and prioritize information. I thought it could be damaging to school culture, especially if one boy is suspended, the other's not, or expelled. That kind of stuff kind of gets back to students and could potentially disrupt the culture, I thought. I think it could be damaging to policies that are in place, but maybe it shows that they are broken and kind of need to be changed a little bit, so I can kind of see both sides of it. And then what individuals or groups are important stake in the outcome. David has important stake. Again, kind of that decision can drastically change his life. Mr. Ehrman because it could affect his career, James because he'll be going back to jail and it seems like it's kind of reoccurring for him, the principal above Inman because he has to make a choice about kind of what not to do. So there's kind of a lot of things at stake and a lot of things to consider. So definitely not something to take lightly. So prioritizing information, have all of them been consulted? I said yes, I feel like they all have been. Parents, admin, students, police officers, that kind of thing. I thought it might be beneficial to pull the boys' teachers aside and just kind of get a better read on not only that situation, but just how they've been in class, how they interact with other students to kind of help better gauge if they need to do something else. Can we learn more about this? I said yes, just pulling in those teachers. Potentially getting more info from the board just to see if there is any way we can change up the policy at all, or if there are any gray areas or things like that, just to see if this is really the course of action. I think there is enough to make a decision on what to do, either as Mr. Inman or the principal, on kind of what's next. So section 6, possible consequences. So again, I feel like I was torn with this situation because I see both sides of it, and so I feel like it was really hard for me to make a choice. Because I know this huge impact will be on both students. I feel like Mr. Inman would need to put both names down and maybe have them both deal with the consequences, but then I could also see him just putting one name down, so I feel like I was really torn, but I feel like he might need to put both down, but maybe say that one of the boys had less involvement in it and see if he could get like less of a charge potentially. And also work on changing the school policy for future students. And then as a principal, I encourage him to file this one and make changes to the policy in the future. Again, I think the biggest thing would be to look at larger and see if there's policy change that can happen. And then another idea I thought of was creating a potential mentor program for some of these students who need a little extra help, guidance for future issues. So just kind of having that mentor connection would be really beneficial. So again, evaluating options, pros, getting a mentor group up and running to kind of help all the boys. I think that'd be cool, kind of like a big brother thing. Revise some policies for equity and discipline. I think it could be really cool too to just have everyone get a mentor too. Everyone keeps their jobs, keep working, so it just kind of depends on that final decision. Some people might lose their jobs based on what they do. Students get sent to jail and how it affects their life. Parents and families could be frustrated and upset. So again, a lot to think about. So again, choosing the best option. I think again, making sure that everyone is on the same page. So maybe have a meeting where everyone is together to discuss kind of crucial next steps. I think most of the stakeholders have been consulted. There could be more in terms of getting a mentor program set up. I think maybe even involving the school board a little bit more and just communicating with other principals, assistant principals to figure out what the best course of action is. I think getting the most advice and wisdom is important. And then like I mentioned, my creative option was the mentoring, which would be really cool to hopefully prevent some of this stuff in the future. Okay, so choosing exactly what I was gonna do. So I feel like again I struggled with this. And I had to kind of think back to like the decision tree and how I would make decisions. So if I was in Mr. Inman's shoes, I'd probably not expel David, but maybe suspend him for his part in the whole thing. But I'd leave his name off of the expulsion list and jail paperwork. Again, I feel like he had a lesser thing, and I feel like he was kind of bullied into the situation. So as Mr. Inman, I would also consult with their teachers, get a better idea of how the students are in class. I'd also talk to principals, look at the code of ethics, kind of decide from there. And then consider the likely outcomes of the decision. So Mr. Inman might get fired or reprimanded for leaving off a student's name on the documentation or giving him a lesser charge for it, if that's a possibility. The boys might still get suspended, expelled, or even go to jail. Because at the end of the day, I think it's also a law, so the police might have a different say in it. And then identify who needs to know. I think for sure parents need to know what's happening, students need to know, and other admin. So again, I think having that big group meeting could be really beneficial. And then implementing this decision. I think the issue is already bigger than just that person from the beginning, because the police officer and both boys were in the office at the same time, so everyone was in there all together and there wasn't a whole lot of time to talk and decipher the whole situation. I feel like I probably would have just had one boy in at a time, talked to both of them, and then pulled police in depending on the severity of the issue. And then I think the principal did a good job of kind of warning Mr. Inman of what could happen if this happened. And so I feel like he did a good job there. But yeah, I feel like the student situation could have been handled a little bit differently. So kind of the next plan of action would be to decide as a principal to review the policies and make sure they're followed according to plan. And so this is just kind of looking at the standards. So I definitely evaluated and communicated as well as advocated for ethical and legal decisions. I also mentioned referring back to the code of ethics. And yes, I followed the guidelines for ethical guidelines. It's again a little tricky with legal guidelines and the boys' punishment and that kind of thing, and not knowing the school's exact policies. Evaluate ethical dimensions of issues. So even though I kind of got stuck, I feel like I still was able to handle it to the best of my ability. And then yes, I was able to analyze different possible outcomes for each situation and kind of what happened. At the end of the day, I feel like I stuck with gut decision. Felt like I did what I thought was right. Yes, communicated the plan to everyone, making sure that everyone's kind of on the same page. And then I try to model ethical behavior in everything I do and cultivate ethical behaviors in others, not only as a teacher, but as a future admin. I try and model that as well. Formulate school ethical leadership platforms. So I think as an administrator, I'll need to even more ethical leadership platform. And it starts now with just being consistent with consequences as a teacher. And then ethical practice, again, modeling that in everything I do. I feel like in this situation I struggle with what to do because it's ethical, legal. I feel like sometimes that emotional piece comes into it, knowing their history, that kind of thing. And then I always try to cultivate ethical behavior in the situation. I feel like Mr. Inman was also trying to do that with both boys. There's only so much you can do. There's my references, and then here's my reflection. I feel like I learned there are going to be really tough choices as an admin, and this is just one example. I learned a lot about myself and that I tend to lean towards my emotions and gut feeling, but I also felt myself wanting to use the decision tree models to help me figure out what to do. I'm definitely someone who asks for advice, wisdom to try and make the best decision possible, but at the end of the day, it comes down to that gut decision because each situation is going to be a little bit different and there will be different responses to it. So overall, I learned a lot in this class. Thank you for listening.